We've shared quite a bit on how to break social media addiction, how to break a smartphone addiction through my series of videos on digital minimalism. But what about YouTube? YouTube addiction is very much real. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 10 tips to help you break your YouTube addiction. Because we're not all cookie cutter, I did want to give several tips because our experiences may be different. And so my hope is that you can take the ones that work for you based on your personal experience. And I think I'm going to start with like the simple, easier ones for the beginning and then save the hardcore for those of you who want to live on the wild side for last. So my hope is that you can take what you can grab from this and that it will be helpful for you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up to help support my channel. And if not, by all means, thumbs it down, but please give me some feedback in the comments so that I know what to work on. Okay, so let's begin with the most controversial one first. Number one, unsubscribe from the channels that don't add value to your life. This sounds so counterintuitive right now because usually the first thing you hear on a video is tap that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. And of course I'd love for you to subscribe and find value in my videos and watch my videos. But more importantly than that, the videos that the information really that you're consuming on a daily basis can really shape your perception and attitude on life. So be mindful of the type of content that you're consuming. We're constantly being bombarded by information through ads and commercials. But what about the information that you're consciously subscribed to? Really try to ask yourself first, what kind of a life do you want to live? What are your values? What kind of a person do you want to be? Really have a clear vision in your mind. And then from there, ask yourself if each of those people or those channels that you're subscribed to actually in line with that vision. Do they actually provide value to your life? And if not, chunk them and say, ah, well. Number two, along with unsubscribing, turn off notifications. This doesn't really just apply to YouTube, but really it goes across the board to all other forms of social media. Have you ever been working on a project and you've been so in the zone, so focused, and then you hear that ding, and you just have to check it. Hold on one second. Your curiosity is now sparked, and even though you maybe didn't get up to check what it was, your focus is now gone because your brain is trying to work so hard to try to calm down that curiosity. Or maybe you actually did get up to check what it was, and now you're completely distracted by the thing you were working on. What was I working on? Oh, hey. Just avoid those situations altogether to avoid going down that rabbit hole. Number three is use it only as a search engine. This one I think will be more helpful for those of you who have trouble with binge watching the suggested videos. Those darn suggested. When I've been asked how I manage to have balance on YouTube, I usually mention that I only use YouTube as a search engine. For example, my husband and I recently bought a maca pot, and rather than just seeing reviews online, I turned to YouTube to find comparisons and reviews. So I did a quick search on YouTube to help us make this decision. The problem comes when you're finding yourself lost in the suggested videos. On Chrome, there's actually an extension that can help you with this for free. It's called Distraction-Free YouTube. And what this does is basically it allows you to control what you see on YouTube. So it allows you to only view the video and the comments themselves without showing you the suggested videos. If you turns out that you actually don't like this, you can actually go into the settings and tweak it or just eliminate the extension altogether. So this can give you a really personalized option depending on what your preferences are. Number four, use your phone's screen time trackers or use an app. You can actually do this on desktop as well, but phones are just so easily accessible that they tend to be the biggest time suckers. So you try to give yourself an hour, but the hour quickly turned into 3, 4. Now it's 3 a.m. and you have to be up at 5 and you don't want to wake up groggy, so you may as well keep on scrolling, right? I'm totally being sarcastic, guys. Please don't do that. Sleep is delicious. Thumbs up if you agree. If you genuinely have trouble with limiting your screen time, try using a screen time tracker to set some limits. There are tons of apps out there, and if you have an iPhone like me, it's actually a built-in feature. So make use of these features. Number five is actually pretty simple, and it's to delete your search history. If you feel like you don't need some hardcore or extreme measures, but for some reason those suggested videos just keep reeling you in, then try deleting your search history. This simple tip can be a big help. YouTube recommends videos that are similar to the ones that you've watched and have previously enjoyed. So if you really love funny cat videos, it will likely recommend to you more funny cat videos. So just by deleting your search history, it will make it less likely that you'll have the same types of videos that have been endlessly scrolled through. I actually had to do this when my husband grabbed a hold of my phone to watch how to replace some thingamajig on our vehicle. And all of a sudden, I was getting recommended all sorts of automotive and car videos. And I'm sorry, but I'm just not interested. Tip number 6, schedule it. I think that this tip can be especially helpful for those of you who have guilt when it comes to time wasted on a screen. As a working mom, sometimes I do just want to get on my phone and watch awesome recipe videos of things that I'm probably never going to cook. But if I'm on my phone when I could have, for example, been reading a book with my daughter, then I end up feeling guilty because I know that my time could have been better spent. If you really enjoy watching Dr. Pimple Popper, but there's certain things that you really need to get done that you shouldn't procrastinate on, then try having a designated time, designated hour of the day when you can give yourself permission to have that unproductive scrolling time. And only do it during this time. I mean, sometimes you do just want to have unproductive time to consume content, and that's okay. But ideally, it shouldn't be for hours on end, 7 days a week. So try to find what a good time frame could be and schedule a date with yourself. But just don't go past your time. Think of it like an appointment. This can be helpful even if your time is productive. For example, answering YouTube comments or watching some free exam prep lessons. My classmates paid so much money for their nursing exam prep lessons, but YouTube has them for free. Technology can be great. There are so many things that we can learn at the touch of our fingertips, but be smart about when you're actually doing these things.
Like maybe not at 9 p.m. when you're about to get ready for bed.
I love this next one. Number 7, find a different hobby or passion project. Sometimes we look to our screens when we have downtime because we feel bored or we feel like we have nothing better to do. But this can be a really vicious cycle because consuming so much information constantly can really rob you of your creativity. So then you end up feeling like you have nothing better to do or nothing else to do but to consume more content. We all have creativity within us, but we end up losing that drive, that creative vision that we had when we were kids because of the way that we live our lives and the expectations we have placed by society. My dad is very much a workaholic and he proudly admits it, but by the same token, he's also told me that he's worked so hard for so long that he doesn't have any other hobbies. At this point, he doesn't know what else he would do with his time except for work. If you feel like you have no other hobbies besides YouTube, then perhaps try starting by replacing it with something that at least stretches your mind or betters your health overall in some way. Like reading books, going for walks, listening to audiobooks, or motivational podcasts.
Or maybe just go outside, get yourself a bubble gun, and go outside and pop some bubbles. Just 'cause.
When I first quit social media years back, one of the things that I used to do when I would get bored was decluttering while listening to audiobooks. And oddly enough, the physical act of decluttering my space really improved my mental state overall. And mixing that with audiobooks was perfect for me because as I was getting rid of the excess in my life, I was also improving my mindset to make positive changes in my life. So if you have a hobby, try getting back to it. If you don't have one, then start by learning new things. You will find the hobbies along the way. Tip number 9, make your phone less accessible. When I go out anywhere, my phone is always with me. It is a must. But when I'm around the house, it has a designated home where it lives when I'm not using it. I place it in our mailbox key holder thingamajig, and if I need it, then I grab a hold of it, and once I'm finished, back in its home it goes. It doesn't follow me around the house all day, and if I'm changing my baby's diaper and I don't return your call in about 3 minutes, then okay. I think that doing this alone has really helped ease my sense of urgency when I get a text message or a phone call, because FOMO is a big part of social media addiction. But I talk specifically about that in my video, Why I Quit Social Media. But for me, I really think that just having my phone physically away from me has been a big help in having a healthy balance with it, because it's not an extension of me. It's not like an extremity. It's not always with me. So I really recommend having a home for your phone, and that's during the day, but nighttime as well. I remember the days in high school when I used to sleep with my phone under my pillow. Ugh, the dependency I had with that thing is just sad. My husband and I actually place our phone on the other end of the bedroom when we sleep at night. And I love this for 2 reasons. Yes, it makes it to where we don't have notifications easily accessible. We have silent mode anyway. But we love that it forces us to get out of the bed in the morning to turn off our alarms. Tip number 9.5 is to make the app less accessible. If you find yourself constantly on your phone checking YouTube because, well, your phone is always with you, then try deleting the app from your phone. This will make it to where you have to wait until you get a chance to sit down on your desktop to be able to use it, instead of, at the store checkout line or at work, which I know we're not doing, right? Tip number 10, make use of the other technology that you have. Okay, this one sounds counterproductive, but hear me out. If a trigger for you is that you go to call someone or Google something, and then you already have your phone, so you may as well check what's new on YouTube, then try to use the technology that you already have to avoid this loop altogether. For example, if you have an Alexa or a Siri, then try using these things as much as you can instead of physically grabbing your phone. I currently work as a nurse in the home setting, and I'm constantly on the phone with pharmacies and clinics and families, etc. And one of the things that I found helpful for me is that I have AirPods. And honestly, I thought that maybe that would make me more dependent on technology, but it's actually been quite the contrary because it allows me to be physically detached from my phone, if that makes any sense. So for you, if you find a temptation to scroll through your phone, to have it physically with you, then maybe try using other technology that you may have, like if you have an Apple Watch or certain things like that. Try using the technology that you have that will allow you to use the screen less. Hey Siri, turn on my Mellow playlist on Spotify.
Mellow now playing on Spotify.
But please note, I'm not telling you to go buy some technology. I'm just telling you to use the things that you already have to your advantage. And my bonus tip for you would be to look inward. Are you looking to YouTube or other social media outlets to escape or avoid confronting something that you're going through? A stress, a fear, a loss, or feelings that you want to hide from? If you feel stuck in your life, lonely, or depressed, are you using social media as a way to distract yourself from what's really going on inside? I encourage you to look within. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You can decide to change your life and live your best life today. I think that the tips that I've given you may be fine and dandy, but if the root of the problem is something that's been boiling inside you, they're not going to help one bit. That's just masking the problem. It's like painting over a moldy house and expecting it to go away. It won't. So focus on creating experiences and memories. I assure you that 20 years from now, you're not going to remember the time that you spent scrolling on YouTube, but you will remember those memories that you've created with your friends and your family. In short, I am not saying that technology is evil. Technology can do amazing things. I mean, microwaved oatmeal can be done much faster than if you were to cook it. Well, I guess you could stick it in the fridge overnight, but you get my point. We now have the power to do things like say, "Hey Siri, turn off my lamp." I've mentioned that I work in hospice, and for me, that means that the entire goal in my job is to help people live their best life for as long as they have it, despite their diseases and their ailments. And my patients and my families have taught me a whole lot more than I have done for them. And one of those things that I can share with you is that your computer, your phone, your car, it's all wonderful stuff, but it's not something you're gonna care about on your deathbed. All you truly have is time. Time to create memories, time to make a difference, time to give back and leave this world just a little bit better. So be conscious of the time that you have and how you're using it. I thank you so much for watching this video and for giving me your time. And my challenge to you today is to leave this video and actually go see the people around you. Notice their expressions, notice the nature around you. Savor it, enjoy it. Go out there and enjoy your life. Until next time, bye.